Biden's new strategy in employing cringy TikTokers to influence people.
What, unlike his old strategy of employing cringy TikTokers?
What, you mean his administration in general? I didn't realise they all had TikTok.
I bet they do, actually. I bet if you go to Kamala Harris, she's got a TikTok account.
I don't even want to think about it.
I'm going to check that out.
So, there's this tweet. Cast your mind back to the 16th of October 2020. America was probably being burnt by Black Lives Matter. Forget about that bit. That's not important for now. Biden says, we're 8 months into this pandemic and Donald Trump doesn't have a plan to get this virus under control. I do. Well, guess what that plan is?
Cringe.
Let's go to the first video.
Oh, boy.
First video. There we go.
Today, Dr. Fauci is doing 5 Q&A conversations on Instagram and TikTok with millennial, mom influencers, and Gen Z influencers. Throughout the month of August, Dr. Fauci will do weekly conversations and questions with notable influencers that aim to reach specific audiences we are looking to boost vaccination rates with.
God, everything about that was awful. You know what? You are right. The generational terms are disgusting.
I know, yeah.
Especially when said like that. I really, really hate the term influencer, though.
Oh, it's so annoying, isn't it? Because it's already taking on that, yeah, I'm important, I influence people. But it's self-appointed. They refer to themselves as influencers.
Yeah, but it's sort of like segregating yourself off from the people you agree with and being like, I'm better than you, I'm an influencer, or something like that. And I see it in like, because my ex-girlfriend used to watch a lot of beauty videos. They call themselves it in the beauty community. I'm just like, that's cringe. Stop.
I absolutely despise these kinds of people. Like, they are the worst of the worst. I mean, I would take a social justice warrior in a conversation any day. At least we could actually talk about meaningful things. These people, so vapid and superficial, all they care about is being liked. I bet if it would get likes on TikTok, they would have worked for the SS, rounding up certain people.
Oh, God. I can already see like the far right going to be like, oh, you know what, maybe I should get on TikTok.
So anyway, here's the instructions that went out to the influencers that Biden was trying to get. So if you could go on that picture on the left there, John.
Confidential.
Yeah, well,
why?
They weren't very good at that, were they?
But also why? Like, why do you need to make your terms
confidential in big capitals, 2 asterisks either side. So you know they didn't want this to get out, but here we are. Please note that this email is highly confidential and is not for public distribution. So they really, really didn't want this getting out. We have a highly sensitive but pretty incredible opportunity we'd like to discuss for blank. We have been working with Dr. Fauci and the White House, as featured on the front page of the New York Times, to fight vaccine lies. Authorities recruit an influencer army and handpicked select influencers to do an intimate 1v1 Zoom call with Dr. Fauci.
You want to be a paid schmuck?
Also, like how they mentioned the White House and they say as featured on in the New York Times, as if like they didn't know what the White House was. I'm sure that's probably not what they meant. But like, you may not know what the White House is, but
we know you're all idiot like TikTokers. Yeah.
So they go on to say the goal is to have blank ask questions on behalf of blank community and educate young people around the vaccine, as there is a massive need to grow awareness within the 12 to 25 age demo, which I presume to be demographic. The White House team and
12.
Our team, yeah, I know.
This is about vaccines. This is about trying to make you take the vaccine. They want to target 12-year-olds.
Exactly, yeah. It's probably why they didn't want this to come out. That they're kind of giving away that they are going to push it on actual children. And they said that there's of course not much evidence for this yet, for it even being effective, but I don't want to get into that. So they say, the White House and our team agree that given blank's voice and influence within the crucial demographic, blank would be great for this special opportunity. We'd love to get on a phone call, ideally blank, to go over all the details and see if it's the right fit. Can you let us know when you're available to touch base? We're moving fast and have only a few available slots that we can fill, so please let us know ASAP. Looking forward to connecting. Thanks. So that is what went out.
This is the plan. This is the plan to get COVID under
This is
control.
the great plan that Donald Trump couldn't think of, apparently.
Thank God.
Recruit a TikTok army who need the White House to be explained to them for a New York Times article. But moving on to the next video. Here we go. Here is singer Jacob Sartorius. I've never heard of them. I've never heard of any of these people, as a caveat. I'm
But at
pretty
least-
proud of that fact.
At least we know they're a paid schmuck from now on.
Yes. So we're going to go through a few paid schmucks talking to Fauci, and let's hear what he has to say.
It's great to meet you, Dr. Fauci. I had a couple questions about the vaccine. We don't know the long-term negative health effects of the COVID shots. A lot of rumors about, phones sticking to arms. Can you help me weigh the
still
pros
acting.
and cons of getting vaccinated?
That's a great question, Jacob, that a lot of people ask. And a lot of the things that you're referring to are just ridiculous myths. Do I become magnetic? Do you put a chip in me so I could follow you around? That kind of stuff. You gotta use your TikTok medium to debunk that nonsense. The benefit of the vaccine overwhelmingly outstrips any of the theoretical risks of something bad happening to you. But if they occur, they're spectacularly rare.
Well, thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. It's a pleasure to be with you. Take care of yourself.
Should I relax my arm? Sure. Because my heart's not relaxed right now.
That's it. Awesome.
You happy, Dr. Fauci?
God, that's cringe. But also, just I love the idea that he's like, yeah, some people believe that the vaccine makes you a human magnet or something. And he's like, yeah, I mean, only people on TikTok are stupid enough to believe that, so you've got to get rid of that. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
boy.
And there's more to come yet. So I found it particularly funny how he's just like, yeah, you've got to use TikTok to almost explicit about you've got to propagandize the children.
But also, just TikTok is so full of morons that we know you believe anything. So
Well, I'd agree with him on that, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So here's the next one, which is Claudia Sulwolski. Probably butchering that pronunciation, but never mind. I don't want to give them any more clout than they don't deserve. So let's
Hi,
listen
Dr.
to this one.
Fauci. It's such an honor to meet you.
It's my pleasure, Claudia. It's really great to be with you.
So we're trying to have
See
a
how
Vax
it is.
Girl Summer. Do you mind if I ask you some rapid fire questions?
Vax Girl
Sure,
Summer.
go ahead, please.
In just one sentence, can you help me convince my friends who aren't vaccinated yet to get vaccinated so that I can invite them to my pool party?
When you are vaccinated, you are protected from getting infected, and you are protected from getting anybody else infected.
No.
Because if you don't get infected, you're not going to spread it to anybody else. Get vaccinated and have your pool party.
We all want to feel and look our best this summer, of course. What's a common myth that you hear about the vaccine's side effects?
Well, a common myth is that the vaccine can make you infertile or sterile or get into your genes. All of that's a myth, nonsense, untrue. Don't let it bother you. Go ahead, get vaccinated, be safe, and have a lot of fun.
And what will you miss out on this summer if you're not vaccinated?
Well, if you're not vaccinated, what you'll miss out on is that feeling of
takes do you think?
protection to know that you are protected. You don't need to wear a mask. You could be outside, you could be inside. If you don't want constraints, for goodness sakes, go get vaccinated and you could just get rid of all your constraints there. Thanks for having me, Claudia. It's good to be with you.
So much. Great to meet you.
looks at the floor while he's saying, like, I don't want to be here. Oh,
I don't blame him.
I just spreading medical misinformation there.
Yeah, well, he
Fauci.
said protected from getting infected and not infecting others, whereas wasn't there a study in Israel of the Israeli population by the Israeli government which suggested that actually people who have been vaccinated may actually have
Well-
more of the pathogen in them, right?
But also the idea that you can't spread it if you're vaccinated. The CDC, I think the organization he's meant to be advising, and also the WHO say that no, if you get vaccinated, you can still infect people.
Yeah,
So-
he's misleading people there directly.
Like, he's the
saying-
source of rumors here.
Well, yeah, he's spreading vaccine disinformation because if he's telling people, yeah, if you get the vaccine, well, you're fine, you're not going to spread it, then people are probably going to believe it.
Also, Vax Girl Summer, it's got nothing on White Boy Summer. That's going nowhere.
I think they're both cringe, but okay.
Let's go for the next one.
Sure.
What's up, dudes?
This is the
What's
official
up, Dr.
video.
Fauci? So we have a couple questions we want to ask you.
Okay, go ahead.
Does the vaccine impact my fertility? And can people get it while they're pregnant or
I see her
breastfeeding?
reading.
There's
Yeah, I
no
know.
evidence
I was
at
just
all
about to
that it
point that
affects
out.
fertility. In fact, many of the people who've gotten vaccinated have gotten pregnant. Tens and tens of thousands of women have been vaccinated while pregnant and then while breastfeeding. No negative effects that have been noticed.
Also, we've noticed the age of
Also reading
eligibility keeps getting lowered for the vaccine. So if it wasn't studied on children, how do we know it's safe for children?
Matt, that's a great question. We don't allow it to be given to any age group until it has been tested. As you see the age limit going down, that means it has been tested in that group and it has been shown to be safe and effective.
So good to
Wow.
know. Thank you for your time,
Yeah.
Dr. Fauci.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're
Thanks for
welcome. Good
paying
luck,
me.
guys.
Bye bye.
Yeah. So
Well, hang on with the age thing first. Like, it's already being given to people. What was it, under 16 in the continent? In the UK, they're giving it to them even though they're not meant to be. And then they're saying in the US that
we're
isn't
going to
happening.
get onto that because one of our vaccine specialists was talking about that, but I don't want to spoil it yet. So there's also photos of other influencers on Twitter, just talking to him. Although I couldn't find the video, so you're probably better off not seeing those. They're probably much of the same thing, where it's just.
Yes. Here's $300. Now ask
Yeah,
him
there
this
we go.
question we've written, and then say goodbye.
So if you could go on the first one, John. So we say, does the vaccine make you magnetic? I talked with Dr. Fauci to find out.
I'm sorry, who believes this?
Answering the cutting questions that everyone needs to hear. Well,
Just people on TikTok believe this, I guess. Anyway.
why would being magnetic really be that much of a
No, why would,
bad
it be,
thing
why would it be
anyway?
a negative anyway?
It'd be a
Like,
power.
You could
It'd
literally be the human
good.
magnet.
It should be like, yeah, it does make you magnetic. Look at this.
I mean,
that would make the TikTokers love it.
If he's
They love
spreading
stuff
medical
like that.
misinformation for you to get it anyway, the idea that you can't then get infected, why not? Get the full hog. It gives you superpowers. CDC approved. God.
I actively avoid TikToks, but even I've seen like the TikTok magic tricks where they've got like stuff stuck to their hands and stuff, so they'd love it. But anyway, enough of this rubbish. So this is the worst video of all, which is the final video. I saved the worst until last.
I just want to notice how bored they all look in
I
those
know.
images as well.
Well, they're all just pre-rehearsed, aren't they?
So another, like, look at them. They're just like, no one wants to be there. Fauci doesn't want to be there. They don't want to be
Well,
there.
they did like 50, didn't they? So he's probably being like held prisoner at gunpoint at this point. It's like, oh god, do I have to talk to another one of these TikTokers? My god.
You know, for all the problems with Fauci, I do feel for him on this. Imagine talking to 50 TikTokers in a row.
He needs to be put on suicide watch, I think.
Yeah. Anyway.
Here it is.
One sec.
The worst one.
Democracy's calling. See you, Daddy. Bye.
Hi, my name is Cooper, and this is a day in my life as a White House intern.
We did a joke. Hey, everyone. Vogue.
Usually I start off with a big coffee. Sorry, they're like really strict in here.
Hey, Jenny. I booked you a nail appointment, love.
Yeah, I didn't tell you to do that.
It's called Initiative. Hi, White House. This is Cooper. I don't think so. Oh, doesn't matter.
This is actually the entrance to the West Wing. This is so fun, and it's really prestigious.
Hey, POTUS. Is Olivia Rodrigo still here?
No. We've come a long way in our fight against this virus. We've vaccinated 160 million Americans. Are you getting this all down?
Don't worry, Queen. It's all right here.
Cooper.
Sorry, Miss Jen. And Jen, don't forget to have fun. Spirit fingers, Mama. We need to get shots in the arms of every single American. I'm heading to a haircut.
Comment if you want me to make more of these.
Please don't. Please never make more of these. Jesus Christ, I agree with Iran. Death to America. Fuck. Oh, God. They signed off on that, and, like, she filmed it with him.
Yes.
And then they must have reviewed it and be like, yeah, that's based, and then posted it.
I don't think they thought it was based.
Oh, boy. But that has to go through, like, several layers of approval,
Yeah.
surely. I mean, who is he? He's got to come to the White House. He's going to film with the press secretary, and then the White House is going to approve it to be posted.
I don't know how that's going to convince someone, just him fooling around and being overly camp for the entire video. I don't know.
Wearing multiple dresses.
I mean, that might convince the TikTokers.
Hey, if you get your vaccine, you can be just like me. It's that South Park episode with the butt out. You know, they're like, yeah, if you don't smoke, you can be just like us, and then the little boys just start smoking. Just, oh, boy.
So that is the videos there. What do you think? Do you think this is going to work?
Praise be to Trump for never doing this.
Yeah,
If that was the plan, he was not enacting.
I mean, it makes Trump look so much better, doesn't it? Just anyone who has to hire these kinds of people to promote stuff, you're not helping your cause at all.
I mean, I don't know if there are right-wing TikTokers, but I'd never take a deal like that. If the Republicans get back in, just don't do it. It's too cringe.
So I saw an article on Forbes that was talking about this, and it basically is surprisingly accurate about pretty much all of the opinions of normal people. It starts with, you can scold, cajole, and pressure people to make them do things they don't want to do. This approach mostly backfires as folks don't like being ordered around, especially by people like that. And perhaps the mixed messages sent out by our government and health officials have made some people hold off from getting their shots. Americans are still individualistic mavericks, not easily lassoed into what everyone else is doing. There are those who instinctively tend to push back when they feel bullied into doing something. And that's exactly what they're doing, isn't it? They're trying to put pressure on people through kind of manipulative media presences to do something that the government wants you to do that you might not.
It's also the way they do it makes people not want to, because I mean,
when I see that, I really don't want to do what they tell me.
But that's the thing. Like, you remember, what was it, Bill de Blasio, who was like, "Here's a burger because, you know, America, and you'll get that if you get the vaccine. Think vaccines, think burgers." Like, that was his point. If you think vaccines and start thinking of TikTok, rates are gonna plummet. Who wants that? You could be just like TikTokers. No thanks.
I'd rather inject myself with cyanide if I have to watch TikToks. So perhaps the mixed messages sent out by our government and health officials have made some people hold off on getting their shots. Americans are still in... Oh no, I'm reading the same part again, sorry. It seems that politicians and business leaders have started to realise that chastising and villainising Americans isn't a very effective playbook for a large portion of the population. They're now finally figuring out that maybe money talks. President Joe Biden has called for states and local governments to offer $100 payments to newly vaccinated Americans.
Jesus Christ, more printing of money.
Yeah. So not only are they paying these TikTokers, $1,000 each probably, to do these stupid videos, they're also paying people $100 to get people to take the vaccine. And supposedly in New Mexico, where they offered these cash payments, Johnson & Johnson noticed a quadrupling of the number of shots that they had administered in that time. So it does actually seem to work.
Imagine getting vaccinated before.
And missing out on the $100.
I want my money. I want my tax rebate.
So it's even worse. If you were earlier to uptake the vaccine and you got it for free, then you're paying money to the people who are more skeptical and held off on it, or were younger.
I mean, they did have to live through the TikToks, so maybe it's compensation.
Yeah, that's true. So this is also happening in the private sector as well, with Walmart offering $150 bonuses plus 2 hours of pay to get vaccinated, along with a promise of up to 3 days paid time off if they have any adverse side effects to the vaccination. Which, I mean, if they want to do that, it's a good positive incentive rather than like the vaccine passport approach, or the even worse, the French approach, where if you're out having a coffee in the street in France, you get accosted by the police.
Yeah, persecution is left preferential to free cash, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not really free because it's American taxpayer money paying for it.
Well, tax rebate, we'll call it that.
Okay. I mean, that's about as close as you can get, but still.
It's as charitable as I can be. Did you see the CNN headline on this? Because it was like, what gets people to get vaccinated? It was just fear.
Just fear.
Yeah, they just wrote fear, full stop. And then that was the article about how we need to fear the population, as in make them.
To be fair, that's the best CNN article I've ever heard. Just one word.
What are we about? Fear. CNN.
Yeah. So the final thing I wanted to mention is, of course, the UK is going to copy Joe Biden because, of course, we don't actually think for ourselves. We just do whatever the United States does in wars, in ideology, just everything. Apparently TikTok now as well. So yeah.
Who's done this?
So we can't make fun of you, America, because we are even worse.
Which department? Because I want to know the Conservative minister, and I want him out.
I don't know the actual specific department, but
it's going to be the health department, isn't it? So it's going to be, what is it, Sabbath Jabber probably? Come up with this.
I can't believe it's infiltrated. TikTok is in the highest echelons of society now. But anyway, Downing Street will enlist TikTok stars to push teens to get vaccinated, even as critics note that the committee behind the decision to expand the inoculation drive has admitted sparse evidence for doing so, which is true.
Sorry, sparse evidence that people watching cringe TikToks makes them want the vaccine?
No, it's about vaccinating younger people because they haven't actually got the studies yet to rationalise the vaccinations.
But I would actually quite like to hear their evidence for the fact that these TikToks are helping the case. Present that.
It's probably not helping, to be honest. The Joint Committee on Vaccination and Immunisation, the JCVI, announced on Thursday that the first dose of the Pfizer COVID vaccine will be offered to all 16 to 17-year-olds without needing the consent of the parent, reversing their own recommendations from just 2 weeks ago. And the chair of this committee, Professor Wei Shen Lim, stated that the decision to vaccinate 16 to 17-year-olds, the intention for all of the evidence to be published, but the evidence isn't necessarily in the hands of the JCVI. So wherever possible, we encourage the evidence is published, but the timing is not in our hands. That's what he said. But he's basically admitting, yeah, we're advising this, but also we don't have the evidence yet. So please publish the evidence because we'll look bad in a press
so
conference.
proving the point that, yeah, we have no evidence, we're just going to go ahead with it. I mean, children here, 17 and 16-year-olds. I know the UK has a weird stance between 16 and 18. We give certain rights at certain points, but definitely under 18, we're going to describe as kids.
Yeah, but the
without parental consent. I mean, why without parental consent?
Yeah, the admission as well that we just are doing this without the evidence as well, explicitly from someone who is responsible for it. It's kind of a bit worrying. And just to add to the worry, I think, Professor Wei Shen Lim is also part of the Department of British Forensic Society, something or other to do with vaccines, that received £25,000 in funding from Pfizer, and Lim declared that the departmental interests in a 2021 audit, which stated that he had direct responsibility over the Pfizer gifted funds. So there we go. Questionable person.
Sorry, so he declared it and then was like, but don't worry about it.
Yeah, so basically there's involvement with Pfizer and he's responsible for the vaccines.
Sorry, Pfizer gave me 25 grand and I'm not going to recuse myself?
His department, yeah.
Okay. I still don't trust it.
But nevertheless, the main point here is TikTok is awful. Don't go on it.
Yeah.
Get your kids off of it.
I can't think of anything worse that could harm the vaccine effort.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can watch the full broadcast live every weekday at 1 p.m. UK time on lotuseaters.com.